Hello, and our Lives channel. Today, we will learn about the explosive power struggle brewing at DiMera Enterprises that is about to send shockwaves through Salem and tear apart multiple families in the process. Tony DiMera's calculated betrayal. The walls of the DiMera mansion are about to witness one of the most ruthless betrayals in recent Salem history when Tony DiMera makes a devastating move that will leave Gabby Hernandez completely blindsided. For weeks now, Tony has been carefully orchestrating a scheme alongside Gabby, allowing her to believe that their partnership would culminate in her triumphant return to the CEO position at DiMera Enterprises. The cunning fashionista has been working tirelessly, putting her reputation and relationships on the line, all under the assumption that Tony would honor their agreement and hand her the keys to the DiMera empire once they successfully removed the Kiriakis brothers from power. However, Tony DiMera has been playing a completely different game all along, and Gabby is about to discover that she has been nothing more than a pawn in his master plan. The sophisticated DiMera patriarch has no intention whatsoever of allowing Gabby to take control of the family company, despite all the promises he has made and all the dirty work she has done on his behalf. Instead, Tony has been carefully grooming a completely unexpected candidate for the CEO position, someone who carries the DiMera bloodline through marriage and connections, yet brings a fresh perspective to the centuries-old family business. Theo Carver's stunning appointment. In a move that will stun everyone in Salem, Tony DiMera will publicly announce that Theo Carver is being appointed as the new Chief Executive Officer of DiMera Enterprises. This shocking decision represents a significant departure from traditional DiMera leadership, as Theo brings not only his impressive technical expertise, but also his strong moral compass instilled by his father Abe. Theo has previously worked in the IT department at DiMera Enterprises, where he demonstrated exceptional skills in cybersecurity and technological innovation, even though his involvement in certain hacking activities caused serious friction with his father in the past. Tony's reasoning behind this controversial appointment appears to be multifaceted and strategically brilliant from his perspective. By selecting Theo, Tony ensures that DiMera Enterprises remains under the influence of someone connected to the family legacy, while simultaneously bringing in fresh blood that isn't tainted by the decades of schemes, betrayals, and criminal activities that have characterized previous DiMera leadership. Theo represents a new generation, someone who understands both the technological demands of modern business and the importance of maintaining ethical standards, at least in theory. Furthermore, Theo's return to Salem from his position in Johannesburg has been shrouded in mystery, with even his former friend J.J. Devereaux sensing that something significant motivated his sudden comeback. It now appears that Tony had been planning this appointment for quite some time, possibly even orchestrating Theo's return specifically for this purpose. The young Carver has the technical skills to modernize DiMera Enterprises, the family connections to legitimize his leadership, and most importantly from Tony's perspective, the potential to be molded and influenced in ways that serve Tony's long-term vision for the company. Abe Carver's explosive opposition. When Abe Carver learns about Tony's plan to install his son as CEO of DiMera Enterprises, his reaction will be nothing short of volcanic. The respected former mayor and current community leader will be absolutely outraged that Tony would dare to drag Theo into the treacherous world of DiMera business dealings without consulting him first. Abe has spent Theo's entire life trying to protect him from the dangerous influences and criminal elements that seem to orbit around the DiMera family like dark satellites. Abe's fury stems from painful past experiences, particularly the traumatic incident when Theo was shot by J.J. Devereaux while attempting to break into a building on behalf of Tate DiMera and DiMera Enterprises. That devastating event left Theo in a coma, temporarily paralyzed, and forced him to relocate to South Africa for specialized rehabilitation treatment. The memory of nearly losing his son because of DiMera-related schemes has left deep scars on Abe's heart, and the thought of Theo once again becoming entangled in the DiMera web of deception and danger is absolutely unacceptable to him. In a confrontation that promises to be emotionally charged and intensely dramatic, Abe will declare with absolute finality that Theo will most certainly not be taking the CEO position at DiMera Enterprises. This paternal ultimatum will create an immediate and severe conflict, as Theo is now an adult capable of making his own career decisions, regardless of his father's concerns or objections. The tension between protecting one's child and respecting their autonomy will be on full display as Abe struggles to prevent what he sees as an inevitable disaster waiting to happen. Paulina's support creates romantic conflict. Adding another layer of complexity to this already explosive situation, Paulina Price will step forward to voice her support for Theo's career ambitions, creating a significant rift between her and her husband Abe. Paulina, who has always been known for her independent spirit and business acumen, will see this opportunity as a chance for Theo to prove himself in the corporate world and establish his own legacy beyond his father's shadow. Her perspective represents a more progressive viewpoint, one that acknowledges Theo's capabilities and his right to pursue his own professional path, even if it involves some risk. This fundamental disagreement about what is best for Theo threatens to cause serious damage to Paulina and Abe's romance, which has already weathered numerous storms throughout their relationship. The couple has recently been celebrating moving past old troubles and enjoying a period of relative peace and happiness together. However, this new conflict strikes at the very heart of their family dynamics and parenting philosophies, making it far more personal and potentially more destructive than previous disagreements. Paulina's decision to support Theo may be interpreted by Abe as a betrayal, a direct undermining of his authority and judgment as Theo's father. The tension could escalate to the point where Paulina and Abe find themselves on opposite sides of a family civil war, each believing they are acting in Theo's best interests but unable to find common ground or compromise. This conflict will test the strength of their marriage and force both of them to examine their priorities, their communication, and their willingness to understand each other's perspectives. Gabi's fury and thirst for revenge. Meanwhile, back at the epicenter of this corporate earthquake, Gabby Hernandez will be absolutely seething with rage when she realizes the full extent of Tony's deception. The fiery and passionate businesswoman has never been one to accept defeat gracefully, and being publicly humiliated and cast aside after doing all of Tony's dirty work will ignite a fury within her that burns hotter than 1,000 suns. Gabby has sacrificed her reputation, her relationships, and her integrity to help Tony achieve his goals, and now she finds herself with nothing to show for it except embarrassment and betrayal. Tony DiMera and Theo Carver should both be prepared for serious retaliation, because absolutely no one possesses a rage quite like Gabby Hernandez when she has been scorned and betrayed. Throughout her time in Salem, Gabby has proven repeatedly that she is capable of elaborate revenge schemes that rival even the most cunning DiMera plots. She has the intelligence, the determination, and most importantly, the lack of moral boundaries when pushed too far to make Tony deeply regret his decision to double-cross her. The Kiriakis' secret as leverage. One of the most dangerous weapons in Gabi's arsenal is her knowledge of a devastating secret involving Xander Kiriakis and Philip Kiriakis, information that she obtained during her collaboration with Tony. The Kiriakis brothers are hiding something explosive, something that could destroy everything they have worked to build and strip them of all their power and influence in Salem. According to insider information, Philip forged a letter from the late Victor Kiriakis, a criminal act that could have massive legal and financial consequences if exposed to the authorities or the public. Gabby now faces a crucial decision. Should she expose the truth about what Tony did and reveal her own role in the scheme to Xander and Philip as a form of revenge against the DiMeras? This strategy would be incredibly risky, as it would require her to admit her own involvement in the plot against the Kiriakis brothers. However, by positioning herself as a fellow victim of Tony's manipulation and betrayal, Gabby might be able to forge an unlikely alliance with the very people she was recently scheming against. Such a revelation could completely reshape the power dynamics in Salem's business world, potentially leading to a united front against the DiMeras that includes both the Kiriakis family and a vengeful Gabby Hernandez. The fallout from this potential alliance would be catastrophic for Tony's plans, possibly even resulting in criminal charges, loss of the company, and complete destruction of the DiMera reputation in the business community. Gabby understands that sometimes the best revenge is not personal retaliation but rather strategic disclosure that allows others to deliver justice on her behalf. The next 2 weeks in Salem promise to be absolutely explosive as these interconnected storylines collide, creating chaos, heartbreak, and drama that will reverberate through multiple families and relationships. Tony's calculated betrayal may prove to be the catalyst that finally unites his enemies against him, while Abe and Paulina's conflict over Theo's future could permanently damage their marriage. As for Gabby, her next move will determine not only her own fate, but potentially the fate of DiMera Enterprises itself, making her the wild card in a game where the stakes have never been higher. Part 2. The coming week on Days of Our Lives promises a wave of heartbreak, confrontation, and emotional reckoning as young love faces its greatest test yet. On Monday, October 13th, 2025, viewers will witness the deeply charged episode where Tate Black, Leo Howard, races against time to stop Holly Jonas, Ashley Puzimis, from leaving Salem, perhaps forever. It's a classic Salem story, a mixture of regret, misunderstanding, and the stubborn hope that love can conquer even the worst mistakes. But will Tate's grand gesture come in time to make a difference? Or will Holly's plane ticket symbolize the end of an era for the two young hearts who once believed their bond could weather anything? Holly's heartbreak and decision to leave Salem. Holly Jonas has never been a stranger to turmoil. As the daughter of Nicole Walker, Arian Zucker, and the late Daniel Jonas, her life has been marked by loss, secrecy, and scandal from the very beginning. But this latest heartbreak, the end of her relationship with Tate, feels different. It isn't just about a breakup. It's about betrayal, confusion, and the painful realization that trust, once broken, is difficult to rebuild. After learning she'd been framed by Sophia, Rachel Boyd, Holly's world fell apart. The accusations, whispers, and sideways glances became too much. And worse yet, Tate seemed caught in the middle, torn between loyalty and doubt. Even though he insisted he loved her, Holly felt cornered. Her instinct to run, to start fresh somewhere far from Salem's watchful eyes and endless gossip. As she packs her bags and heads for the airport, she tries to convince herself that leaving is the right choice. Yet, deep down, there's still a small part of her, the same part that once believed in Tate's promises, that wonders if maybe, just maybe, he'll come after her. Tate's regret and race against time. For Tate Black, the realization hits hard and fast. Losing Holly isn't something he can accept, not after everything they've been through. In recent weeks, Tate has made more than his fair share of mistakes. His entanglement with Sophia, his failure to see through her lies, and his hesitance to stand up for Holly all contributed to the distance growing between them. But now, standing in the aftermath of his choices, Tate finally understands what's at stake. The moment he learns Holly is leaving Salem, something in him snaps into focus. He rushes to the airport, his heart pounding, desperate for one last chance to make things right. The upcoming episode stills show Tate searching the busy terminal, his eyes filled with panic and determination. And when he finally spots Holly, suitcase in hand, tears glistening in her eyes, the tension is almost unbearable. It's the kind of emotionally charged reunion that Days of Our Lives fans live for. One filled with raw emotion, unfinished sentences, and that haunting question. Can love be saved once it's already broken? The airport showdown. The airport becomes more than just a setting. It's a symbol. For Holly, it represents freedom and escape. For Tate, it's a last battleground. His final opportunity to prove that their love is worth fighting for. According to the spoilers and promotional photos released by JPI Studios, Tate finds Holly moments before she's about to leave. Their conversation begins quietly, almost awkwardly. Tate asks why she wants to go. Holly, her voice trembling, says she's tired. Tired of the lies, the pain, and being caught in the middle of someone else's manipulations. Tate insists that what happened with Sophia was never what it seemed. He tells Holly that he knows now how cruelly she was framed and that he should have believed her from the start. His words come out in a rush, part apology, part plea. He reminds her of everything they've been through, from the laughter and late-night talks to the dreams they once shared about a future together. For a moment, Holly's expression softens. Viewers will see the flicker of emotion cross her face, that unspoken longing to forgive him, to believe again. But then reality sets in. Too much damage has been done. Love isn't always enough, she whispers, and the pain in her eyes says what words can't. The ghosts of Salem's past. This storyline echoes the themes that have always defined Days of Our Lives. The push and pull between destiny and free will, forgiveness and pride, love and loss. In many ways, Tate and Holly's story mirrors those of their parents. Nicole and Daniel, and even Teresa Donovan and Brady Black, all knew the cost of loving deeply in Salem, where secrets never stay buried and happiness is always fragile. The generational echoes make this episode particularly poignant for longtime viewers. Watching Tate struggle to hold onto Holly feels like watching a cycle repeat, one filled with lessons that Salem's sons and daughters seem destined to learn the hard way. Sophia's role in the chaos. Though Sophia Boyd doesn't appear in every scene of Monday's episode, her presence looms large. Her manipulations are what drove Holly away and what now fuel Tate's guilt. Viewers will likely see hints of her next moves, perhaps a smug text or a knowing smile, suggesting that even if Tate and Holly find some closure, Sophia isn't done stirring trouble just yet. Her framing of Holly was cruel, calculated, and effective. It not only isolated Holly but also planted seeds of mistrust that nearly destroyed Tate's faith in her. Now, as Tate tries to undo the damage, fans are left wondering whether Salem's resident schemer will face her comeuppance, or if she'll continue to play puppet master behind the scenes. What comes next? The episode promises emotional depth, strong performances, and the kind of heartfelt drama that has kept Days of Our Lives alive for generations. Whether Tate succeeds in convincing Holly to stay remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. This storyline marks a turning point for both characters. If Holly does leave Salem, it will be a loss not just for Tate, but for the entire canvas of young characters finding their place in the ever-turbulent town. And if she stays, then perhaps, just perhaps, there's still hope for redemption and a second chance at love. For longtime fans, Monday's episode serves as a reminder of why they've stayed loyal to this soap for decades. It's not just about romance or scandal. It's about watching people grow, stumble, and, sometimes, find their way back to each other. Final thoughts. Days of Our Lives has always thrived on emotional storytelling, and this upcoming episode promises to deliver exactly that. With powerful performances by Leo Howard and Ashley Puzimis, the Tate and Holly saga captures the timeless essence of the show, love against the odds, heartbreak that feels real, and the hope that even after the worst betrayals, forgiveness might still be possible. Whether Tate catches Holly in time or not, one thing is clear. This Monday, Salem will hold its breath. Because in a town built on secrets, love, when it's real, is always worth the fight.